Hello dear students, today we are going to start a new chapter. This chapter is related to your life, daily life situations. What is the name of the chapter? Sorting materials into groups. We daily do this work, sorting materials into group. Now let us start the basics. What are objects? See, in your house there will be so many objects and we keep them in particular order, right? If you go to the kitchen, mummy will keep all the things in the kitchen in a particular order, and that order only she knows, right? Now what are objects? What things are called objects? Anything that you can touch and see. If you can see something and touch it, then such things are called objects. So what is an object? Anything that can be touched and seen. You can see it and touch it. Such things are called objects. Now every object, if you see just see around you. You may be sitting near the table. So the table may be made up of, some of you have an iron table, some of them may have wooden table. Okay, you may be sitting on a plastic chair or a plastic table, means you may also have a plastic table with you. You may have an iron table with you, may have wooden table with you. Your bag will be there, may be made up of cloth or some other materials. Okay. Like that, if you see the compass box, your books, all these things are made up of different things. Okay. So, the matter of which a particular thing is made is called material. Okay. Your cloth may be made up of, just last lesson we learned. Your cloth is made up of different materials. Cotton material, synthetic material, silk material, woolen material, like that. Okay. Clothes, fabrics, they call it fabrics. Okay. Now, so whatever matter is used to make a particular object is called material. So what is material? The matter of which an object is made. Whatever material is, or whatever thing, whatever matter is used to make a particular object is called material. Now I told you, we have so many things around us. Millions of things are there around us. And we want to know about all these things in detail. We need to study about them. Which all things are useful to us, which all things are harmful to us, which things should be stored in whatever ways we can store it, in whatever ways we can use it. Okay. Sometimes some of the materials may have different uses. Okay. So all these things, if we want to know, we have to study about these objects. And if you keep all the things together and then try to study, it will be difficult. Right? For example, you have an exam. Now exam is going to come, right? If you keep your maths book, science book, SS book, everything all together, and you don't know what is maths book or which one is science book, at the time of exam, if you start searching, some children have this habit. They write one page science, one page SS, one page maths, one page Hindi, one page, and the end of the term, and they have to study, searching, they don't know. But in the beginning itself, if you keep all science materials together, all maths materials together, material I mean here worksheets or any other notes and all which is given by your teacher, right? If you keep them in order, it will be easy for you to take and study. Okay. Similarly, around us there are millions of things. So many things are there. So if you want to study about them, first thing we have to categorize them, or we have to classify them, separate them. Now how will we separate? This also I like. If your mama says, come on, today we are going to clean your wardrobe, your cupboard, where you keep your clothes. Come on, whatever things are needed for you, you keep on one side. Whatever is not needed, you keep. Sometimes what happens, children, they get confused. This also I want, this also I want. They don't want to throw away anything. Okay. But if you are very clear, if you check everything, whether I can wear it or not, whether I should give it to somebody or not, if you check it thoroughly, you will come to know what is to be kept in the cupboard, what is to be given out. Okay. So for everywhere, what is needed? Classification is needed. So what is classification? Sorting out. Sorting out means separating. Separating different materials, different objects according to their properties or how they appear. Okay, when you keep your wardrobe, I told you, you keep all your shorts together, all your t-shirts together, or if girls are there, they keep their frocks separately. Okay, their skirts separately, their t-shirts separately, or their tops separately, all accessories separately. All these things we keep separately, right? Even if you have all accessories like earrings and bangles and chains and bracelets, if you keep all together in one box, will it be easy? No. So what we usually do, we keep so many small boxes. In one we will keep all rings. In one we will keep all earrings. In one we will keep all chains or necklace or whatever you have. Okay. So this way, if you keep them separately, it will be easy for you to use it. So same is done about all the things around us. The things are separated according to their appearance and usefulness or their properties. Now if you go to a mall, D-Mart or anywhere nearby, I am telling, you see, they might have arranged it in a very systematic way. From the beginning, from when you enter, if you ask this particular thing, they will point out, okay, in this side you will get. Okay, so how they are able to do it? Because they have separated it in a very wise manner. Okay, all cosmetics will be on one side, all grains will be on other side, all types of biscuit one side. Okay, all detergents and soaps and all such things will be on one side. Shampoos, hair conditioners, all such things will be on other side. All toilet cleaners or all such things will be on some other. Maybe all plastic materials will be on one side, like that, according to their properties and their appearance. They are separated, and this process, that is sorting out of things or materials according to their properties and their appearance or their usefulness, is called, what is it called? Classification. What is it called? Classification. So classification means sorting objects into groups based on their appearance and properties. Now, what is the use or what is the advantages of classifying things? In what way will it help us? We just discussed. What happens when you classify things? Classification makes our work easier. I told you, when you go to D-Mart and ask the person, or now we don't even have to ask the persons there. We also know once or twice if you go there, you will come to know which things are available at what place. The location will be noted very easily. You can find out the location very easily. If somebody wants to take clothes, you will get. Even the clothes also are separated. Okay, the tops are kept in a particular area. The curtains are kept in some other areas. The towels are kept in some other. You know very well where the things are kept. So it will be easy for us to locate things if they are classified and kept easily. And if it is classified, you know how to work with them also. Okay, you can locate them easily and you can work with them easily. Now if you go to the kitchen, you see mummy how scientifically she works. She sort out everything. Okay, all types of oil will be kept on one side. All types of grains will be kept in particular boxes. All the spices will be kept separately. So see, I know somebody who keeps all the spices in alphabetic order, so that if you don't have to search where is what. Okay, very easily you can find out things. So if it is organized in a systematic manner, similarly the vessels also, in your utensils, in the mummy knows where is which utensil. The moment you ask where is this particular utensil, even if she is not there in the kitchen, she can find it out or tell you or guide you to take the things. Okay, this is an art, children. Okay, so classification is applicable everywhere in our life. Everywhere. You see your the study table. If you have classified and kept all your things, your crayons are in this particular area, your color pencils are here, your geometry box is kept separately, your notebooks are here, your rough notebooks are kept somewhere else separately, your textbook books are kept here. All these things, if you keep them separately, classify them separately and keep it according to the need and use, it will be very easy. You will not waste lots of time searching for things. Most of the children, they forget. I forgot to keep this book, that book, they say, because they are not classifying things. If you know where to keep what, then you will not forget things. So it is a very useful technique. Classification is a very useful technique in your life. Okay, so please learn to classify things wisely. Now, it helps us to understand the objects. For example, if plastic things are kept, you know what are the properties of that particular plastics. Okay, and then you know how to use it. Will you take the plastic box and keep on the stove? No, you know that it should not be kept on the stove. Okay, so when you keep things in a systematic way, or when you separate them, or when you sort the things in a systematic way, according to their properties and uses, it will be easy for you to understand their properties, easy to use it in a wise manner. Now, how do people separate things? How do people classify things? Is it simply they keep, okay, plastic here and this there and that there? No. There is a way to classify things. All the materials, all the things around us can be classified into two main parts. You have learned it in first standard. Do you know what? Living things and non-living things. That is the first classification. All the things which are living in one group, all the things which are not living in another group. Now living things are there. You can classify them to animals and plants. Okay. And then non-living things, we separate them as natural things and man-made things. This all you have learned it. Okay. And then according to the natural things also, according to their properties, you can separate them. Man-made things also can be separated according to their uses, according to their color, according to their shape, according to the appearance, how does it look like, then whether it is hard or soft, texture. Okay, so many qualities are there according to which you can separate or classify the things. Okay, we will be learning about all these classification techniques or the basics of classification in detail in this particular chapter. Now, to classify things, the objects should have some similarities and some differences. So, they are similar in this properties, they are different in this properties. Like that we can separate them. Okay, so how do we separate them? According to their similarities and differences, classification is done. For example, if you take, I told you, all the things around us can be divided into two groups, living things and non-living things. So in lower class we have learned living things, they breathe, they eat, they grow, okay, and non-living things, they do not eat, they do not grow. Like that we write their property. And then living things can be divided again into two parts, plants and animals. Plants, they prepare their own food, they stand in their own place, they don't move usually from one place to another. Most of them are green in color, okay, they give flowers. Whereas animals cannot prepare their own food, they move from one place to another, they take in oxygen, send out carbon dioxide. Plants takes carbon dioxide for preparing food. All these differences we have learned. What similarity? They all breathe oxygen, okay, they all grow. These are their similarities. Again, plants can be divided into two groups, like green plants and non-green plants, or if you want, flowering plants and non-flowering plants. In lower classes, according to their size, you have learned shrubs, herbs and trees, okay, climbers. All these things are different ways of classification. Okay, this about living things, most of the classification things we have done in lower classes. In this particular chapter, we are going to learn about non-living things. How do we classify them? What are the properties that help us to classify non-living things? So all the properties of non-living things which help us to classify them, we will be learning in this chapter in detail. Okay, so one by one we will learn. But for today, this much. The introduction part is only this much. That's all for today. Thank you.